So when Mum died, Grandma moved in. And she's been there ever since.
Would you like her, your grandmother?
Yeah, she's great. She paints.
Oh, does she? Hey, look, I better go. I promised my mother I'd be home by 12.
Okay, I'll walk you home.
No, I'll be all right. You stay here and finish your ice cream.
No, I'll be all right. You stay here and finish your ice cream.
Yeah, all right.
I'll see you at school. Bye.
I'll see you at school. Bye. We've only got a very short amount of space for you to fit this line in, so I'm just going to have to say that a bit quicker because you walked off camera on that one. So take two. And this time, if you can try and fit that line in before you finish walking. Ready? And action.
Paints.
Oh, does she? Hey, look, I better go. I promised my mother I'd be home by 12.
Okay, I'll walk you home.
No, I'll be all right. You stay here and finish your ice cream.
No, sorry, cut. You've walked off again. And action.
Hey, look, I better go. I promised my mother I'd be home by 12.
Okay, I'll walk you home.
No, I'll be all right. You stay here and finish your ice cream.
No, you stay here and finish your ice cream. She can't get it in, can she? She can't get it in.
Hey, look, I better go. I promised my mother I'd be home by 12.
Okay, I'll walk you home.
No, I'll be all right. You stay here and finish your ice cream.
She's gone.
Yeah, all right.
I'll see you at school. Bye.
I'll see you at school. Bye. That one has to be shouted from off camera.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Not even going to get a fucking kissy off the freak girl that no one likes. Poor sod. This guy's having a bad day. Finish your ice cream. Throw that straight in the bin. Didn't even want the fucking ice cream. Throw it straight in the bin. Oh, he's eating it. No. He's eating it like proper sap. The proper expression here at the end of the scene would have been just throwing that, like, looking at it, like, in disgust, like, oh, dire, and then throwing it on the floor. He's probably throwing it at a pigeon or something. Instead, he's eating it like a sap.
Quick, shut the door.
I need a shit. This is classic, isn't it? Quick, I've been busting for this. I'm busting for the toilet. I've been busting all the way home. Get out of the way, I need a shit.
Quick, shut the door.
I'm trying to shut the door. Someone's chasing me. Don't let them in. Who are you? Who are you? Do you live here? What's going on? Toilet's that way. Oh, it picked up then. It picked up then. Neighbours towards the end there. It was picked up then. I really enjoyed this scene where she hadn't got time to say all of her lines. I really enjoyed this one. This, like, you know, Beauty and the Beast, young love.
She paints.
Oh, does she?
Sorry, more like Cinderella, isn't it? Or like, which one is it that you don't know is supposed to be a beautiful prince? Ugly duckling. More like the ugly duckling. Anyway, look. Anyway.
Hey, look, I better go. I promised my mother I'd be home by 12.
Okay, I'll walk you home.
No, I'll be all right. You stay here and finish your ice cream.
Yeah, all right.
I'll see you at school. Bye.
Bye.
And then this. Then this as well. The eating the ice cream, which I think is the sap move.
Quick, shut the door.
We all recognise it. We all know it. You can't get the key in the lock fast enough, can you? I know which key it is. Just, you know, if anyone else has to fuck around with the keys while you're waiting as well, you're like, give me the keys, I'll do it. Give me the keys. I know which key it is. I can't wait for you to fuck around with the keys. Give me, I've got my key ready. Quick.
Quick, shut the door.
And who does she think's chasing her?
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage?
Oh, one of these.
She's a neighbour. She's a neighbour. Could you imagine any of your neighbours turning up, knocking the door, you open it, they run in and say, quick, shut the door. And you're like, yeah, having a bit of trouble again, Miss Armitage. Having the old trouble again. Could you get off the couch and maybe go in the bathroom? Who she think's chasing her?
Quick, shut the door. Quick, shut the door.
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage?
Oh, one of these days, so help me, Paul, I'll part that mongrel's hair with an axe.
What? She's coming from, like you say, part Heidi High, part William Shakespeare. She's just come in from a different show or a different thing. And she's just like knocked on stage door. She needs the toilet. She's in. She's like, someone's come. This is what this reminds me of. is someone's come to watch Neighbours being filmed in front of a live studio audience, and they brought their confused elderly mother, who has then wandered backstage, got herself an apron, and then knocked the door midway through the scene, and we're away. Like, forsooth.
Mrs. Armitage?
Oh, one of these days, so help me, Paul, I'll part that mango's hair with an axe.
Now, Mrs. Armitage, what's that they say about...
It was a little bit of Nana as well from, what's her name, wasn't it? Oh, Nana, isn't it? Like, you know, what's her name's Catherine, what's her name's Aunt Nana.
So help me, Paul, I'll part that mango's hair with an axe.
Now, Mrs. Armitage, what's that they say about turning the other cheek?
Turning the other cheek? You want to try living with that animal and turning the other cheek?
She's a witch. She's a pantomime witch.
You know what he'd do? He'd punch you right in the mouth.
Who the fuck is this? From ye old EastEnders. The wise woman. There are two things you should know about the wise woman. One, she is wise. And two, she's a woman.
Quick, shut the door.
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage?
Oh, one of these days, so help me, Paul, I'll part that mango's hair with an axe.
Now, Mrs. Armitage, what's that they say
What did that even mean?
about turning the other cheek?
Turning the other cheek? You want to try living with that animal and turning the other cheek? You know what he'd do? He'd punch you right in the mouth. That's...
Are you suffering? Hang on, this has all got really serious then. Is she suggesting that her fella's beating her up? Is that what she's doing? Because that's really serious. We're making jokes.
What he'd do?
Yeah, well, Grandma's in the garden. You want me to call
Yeah, well, Grandma's in the garden. Fuck this. Nice. That's a classic as well, isn't it? When you've got them on the doorstep and you're like, oh, really? Yeah, well, Mum's just out the back, so I'll just get her for you. You go out here, listen to this. You set them up, like, listen to this. And then you send them out. I'll just get her for you.
Oh, no.
That's it, Catherine Tate. She's Catherine Tate as well. She sounds like Catherine Tate.
Quick, shut the door.
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage?
Oh, one of these days, so help me, Paul, I'll part that mango's hair with an axe.
Now, Mrs. Armitage, what's that they say about turning the other cheek?
I'll part that man's hair with an axe. Like, where's she from?
Turning the other cheek? You want to try living with that animal and turning the other cheek?
Right, cut, Mrs. Armitage. We're going to have to just do this again, but I need you to just lower the energy, okay? And just lower the energy. I'm rather trained. No, look, you're just going to have to lower the energy. This is Neighbours. It's not fucking King Lear. Forsooth, one of these days I shall part thy head with an axe. Like, what? You're playing an Australian neighbour. It's a chilled out show. Jim's just doing the garden. Helen Daniels has got her easel and she's doing the art. They found out there's going to be a girl moving in with Des on the street, although he's not really up for it. And then you come along for a little bit of extra drama, but just tone down the drama, okay? We're in Australia in the 1980s. It's okay. Are you eating that ice cream? You fucking ninny.
Quick, shut the door.
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage?
Oh, one of these days, so help me, Paul, I'll part that mango's hair with an axe.
Now, Mrs. Armitage.
It's to shut the door. Where she scuttles past.
Quick, shut...
She's fucking on her toes here.
Quick, shut the door.
And she like just a little shuffle past, look. She's just a little, like, she's doing this little shuffle run. A little shuffle run. Quick, shut the door. And she's like, is it, what's her name from Heidi Highlight? Where that's why it's like, or she's like the ones from Victoria Wood, Acorn Antiques. She's like that one from Acorn Antiques doing the little scuttle run. Look at her running with a little like hunched over scuttle run. Quick, quick! And just out of nowhere as well. Quick! He's got the newspaper. He's just chilling. No one's got anything to do. No one's busy.
Quick! door!
In trouble again, Mrs. Armitage.
Just that scene. Just that scene. Quick, shut the door. Just that.
Quick, shut the door!
Pirates of the Caribbean all of a sudden. What's going on? Quick. The action's picked up.
Quick, shut the door!
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage.
And she just runs across camera. She's gone.
Quick, shut the door!
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage.
Oh.
Quick, shut the door!
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage.
Quick, shut the door!
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage.
Quick, shut the door!
Having trouble again, Mrs. Armitage.
One of these days, so help me, Paul, I'll part that mongrel's hair with an axe.
Now, Mrs. Armitage, what's that they say about turning the other cheek?
Turning the other cheek? You want to try living with that animal and turning the other cheek? You know what he'd do. He'd punch you right in the mouth, that's what he'd do.
That's
Yeah,
what
well,
he
Grandma's in the garden. You want me to call
do.
her?
She turned into a fucking 13th century witch. That's what he do.
He'd punch you right in the mouth, that's what he'd do.
He's like, fuck this. Just fuck. It's not even in the script at this point. He's actually got lines that he's supposed to be delivering in response to this, but he's just decided, fuck this, I can't work with this woman, and he's just written his own script, which is, I'm going to get somebody else. See you in a bit.
Yeah, well, Grandma's in the garden. You want me to call her?
Oh, no, love. Just give me some sanctuary until he calms down.
Sanctuary. It's fucking one of the Knights of the Holy Grail. Dost thou hold this the Grail? Thine offers me sanctuary. Pithy. You're in the wrong fucking show. Sanctuary. Yeah, his face. He's fucking fed up with this shit. He's like, why have I in the scene with the fucking this woman?
Down a bit. Oh, I tell you this much. If my...
I tell you this much. She's talking like Yoda now. Like Yoda now, she talketh this.
mother was alive today, she'd turn in her grave to see the way I'm treated.
If your mother was alive today, she wouldn't turn in her grave because she wouldn't... Anyway, look.
You should have seen him when I first met him. Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. My parents forced this marriage on me, you know. They thought the sun shone out of his... well, you know.
She needed a swear word and that shut her up. And it was supposed to be a bit of comedy, but the comedy's already been had, love. The punchline just drops flat because we've already been laughing. What the fuck was this? What the fuck? She come in like fucking a whirlwind. Forsooth. They must have auditioned her, and that must have been one of the things that they ran through at the audition. And it's fucking, they'd probably done a long day. She's like, you had to choose from 3 people. She was the most memorable.
Look, Mrs. Armitage, have you ever thought of counselling?
You think I'm a bit off me head? Well, with all the knocking about I've had, I wouldn't wonder now. I wouldn't.
Is she saying that she's getting punched up by her fella, though? That's really bad. Like, that's really bad. I'm surprised Neighbours has got that as a feature plotline in episode 3, mainstream daytime Neighbours.
Oh, well, hello, Mrs. Daniels.
No, she's trying to creep past. As if you could creep past in the same room.
Oh, there you are, Mr.
She's got her fucking clothes on backwards as well, Helen has. Look, Helen's in an effort to sneak past, Helen has decided to put her shirt on backwards so that she can look like she's a person with like just hair all over their face and that she wouldn't recognise her. She's put her clothes on backwards in an effort to sneak past.
Hello, Mrs.
And then she stops, like, I'm not Mrs. Daniels, I'm just a hair face.
Daniels.
Oh, you busted me.
Oh, there you are, Mrs. Armitage. I thought I saw you run in.
Oh, I was looking for you in the other room there.
I'm sorry to do this to you again, Mrs. Daniels, but you know he always calms down after a bit.
Yes. Well, you sit there and chat to Paul, and I'll go and make a cuppa, and you can have it before you go.
Oh, look, I've always been a good woman, Paul. I mean, I do.
Helen's just straight in the kitchen again, making the foods. Like, at least there's a cup of tea coming, but, like, what's happening here? You've got problems at home with your marriage, and so you've come next door to talk to the young... Is Paul the son? This seems strange. Like, why doesn't Paul go over there and have a word with him?
My best, I put ice in his beer and he still hits me.
He hits her. She just said it outright then. That's like, on YouTube, that's serious shit that you get, like, flagged for, serious content, heavy content. Neighbours, episode 3. What the fuck's going on? I don't remember that.
Just in time.
She was cooking a sauce earlier. Now she's cooking another whole dinner from scratch because he said too much salt. Look, she's starting again with the vegetables, starting again with the stock vegetables.
Get those in the basket.
What was Paul doing before she knocked? He was just reading the newspaper. I think no one seems to have anything really to do, apart from Shane, who's very busy at school doing diving, which isn't really a normal school activity.
You haven't seen Danny in your travels, have you?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about him.
He's doing calculations here, look. He's calculating probably the bills, the household bills, you'd think. But more likely than not, he's calculating how many cheese sticks make it to the moon.
I think he's hungry.
That's not what your mother asked you. Do you know where he went when he left the pool?
He's a desk clerk.